Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and here is the one you've been waiting for, my review of the Xiaomi 12T Pro, the latest release from the Xiaomi family, and this one is a true beast. Let's not waste any time and have a look. So that's right guys, Xiaomi Palooza is here. We've had the Redmi Pad, we've had the Smart Band 7 Pro, and now the Xiaomi 12T Pro to review here on the channel. And the 12T Pro is basically Xiaomi's latest release featuring the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. But what does this phone have in store, and is it the best Xiaomi phone that you can buy today? Let's get started. But first, let's have a quick look at what's inside the box. As you can see, this is the 12T Pro in black, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, and yes, that 200 megapixel ultimate camera. And here's the paperwork, and in here you would also find this TPU case standard from Xiaomi with a SIM ejector tool. But under here is where you get the awesome first spec, incredible flagship spec of this Xiaomi 12T Pro, 120 watt fast charging, doing even better than the Mix Fold 2 here does the 12T Pro. With your USB-C cable, pretty standard unboxing overall. Design at 8.6 millimeters, 205 grams, pretty standard here from Xiaomi, with an anti-glare glass back that looks pretty nice and Gorilla Glass 5 on the front. But yes, this is a full plastic build phone. That is the one negative I feel just with these T releases. They seem to just shortchange them in terms of the build quality. I would have loved to see a metal rail, and this phone might be just the ultimate flagship slab from Xiaomi. But all things considered, the build quality is still pretty decent. Tiny bezels, top and bottom, and you know what you're getting with this Xiaomi 12T Pro release in terms of design. Display, and we have a 6.67 inch, 120 Hz AMOLED dot display with a 480 Hz touch sampling rate, 446 pixels per inch, and a max brightness of 900 nits. Overall, guys, this is a very nice display, punchy colors, pretty standard of what you would expect from Xiaomi at this price point. But yes, we do get HDR10+, True Display, and Adaptive HDR as well. And I think when it comes to flat panel displays, this is pretty much the best one that you're gonna get on a Xiaomi phone. This is a classic flat panel display from Xiaomi that will do the job. And with that centered punch hole, tiny bezels, this is a great viewing experience for content on the Xiaomi 12T Pro. And in DRM Info, L1 security level for wideband CDM, you should be able to get HD Netflix and Disney Plus on this phone. So it's an L1 party on Frankie Tech. Talking about performance, we have the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, a TSMC 4nm chipset with 8 or up to 12 gigs of DDR5 RAM and UFS 3.1 storage. And here you see the Antutu scores. Incredible results, guys. We're getting well over the millions now. 1,000,008 for the Xiaomi 12T Pro. And gaming on the 12T Pro is going to be excellent as well. You're going to have that 60 Hz using the maximum possible settings. You know, this is probably going to be the best flat panel Xiaomi gaming experience. And I think the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 has proved itself to be a really capable chipset without a lot of the heating issues that we've seen from the previous versions. Yes, I think it will overheat if you really push it, but for casual gaming or even highest settings in PUBG or in this game, Genshin Impact, you should have no problems whatsoever. And of course, with the software, MIUI 13, 13.0.1, this should be getting all those updates in the future as well. And you know, MIUI is what it is, whether you love it or hate it. I think I can say this honestly, the software is feeling a little bit stale at this point on Xiaomi phones. I can't wait to see what Xiaomi does next, because I just feel there are other Android skins like ColorOS, even One UI, that are doing a better job than Xiaomi at the software game. But one thing I'm happy about is the battery life, and Xiaomi is not skimped here on this 12T Pro. A 5,000 mAh capacity with, of course, the star of the show being that 120 watt hypercharge charging you up from 0 to 100 in under 30 minutes. And I gotta say, after using the 14 Pro Max for the last couple weeks, I do think Apple needs to step it up to at least 45 watts for their next release. 120 watts is maybe overkill, but all in all, I think a lot of you do appreciate having that super fast charging on this 12T Pro. And another terrific thing about this phone is that they've done away with that side-mounted capacitive fingerprint scanner. Instead, we get, finally, an optical in-display sensor on a flat panel Xiaomi display. And it works as advertised, super fast into the phone. I love this Xiaomi and so glad that they finally included this on their flat panel display phones. And the vibration motor on the 12T Pro is surprisingly good. This is a flagship level vibration motor, and the haptics really do feel nice when you're answering calls, using just the general UI, or using keyboards and such. Not the best I've felt on a phone, but definitely flagship level on the 12T Pro. And the audio speaker test, dual speakers, sound by Harman Kardon and Dolby Atmos on this 12T Pro. Let's get this close to the mic and have a listen. What can I say? I think it's a solid listening experience here on the 12T Pro. I do notice a little bit of tinniness here at 100%. I wouldn't say these are the best dual speakers I've heard on a Xiaomi phone, so these get for me an 8 out of 10 in terms of sound quality. And you'll have all the latest comms on this 12T Pro, including Wi-Fi 6, NFC, Bluetooth 5.2, 5G connectivity on this phone as well. And the Bluetooth has been really solid, especially with this, the Redmi Buds 4 Pro that I have been testing out as well. Terrific product, just launched globally. And these are the Redmi Buds 4 Pro. There you see them. They are fully synced now to the 12T Pro, and you have that nice little pop-up that works as well. Sound quality has been excellent, but the main point here is that these work so beautifully with this 12T Pro's Bluetooth 5.2 connection. Definitely an awesome product, and this combination of the Redmi Buds 4 Pro and the Xiaomi 12T Pro is a killer, no doubt. And here you see the speed test with 5G on the Xiaomi 12T Pro. Excellent speeds here in my room. Well over 100 Mbps, and I think outdoors it would go even better. Pretty solid 5G results overall. But of course, the way that this phone is being pushed the most, other than the 120 watt fast charging, is because of this. The first time we are seeing a 200 megapixel main sensor on a Xiaomi phone. Insane, guys. And this is essentially a Samsung ISOCELL HP1. It is a 1 over 1.22 inch sensor with an f1.7 aperture. Those are some big numbers for this phone. And then of course we have the secondary cameras, which are a major step down, I gotta say. An 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro, and the 20 megapixel front camera. Now here the star of the show is gonna be this HP1 sensor and that monstrous 200 megapixel camera. Now how can you do 200 megapixel shots? I did do a few in my office, and just notice the detail here when you zoom in on the text of this poster. I looked at this on my iPhone. There's no way you could read the text from that distance, but it is crystal clear here on the 12T Pro. But ultimately, guys, I don't think you'll be taking 200 megapixel photos most of the time. So how do the regular photos work with this phone? Well, from the samples I've taken so far, it's great at night and it still does solid in certain lighting conditions, but there are some conditions where I do feel the colors are a bit washed out. I do think there's a lot of promise to this sensor, but just like the previous 12S Ultra, I feel like the software is letting down the sensor of this phone a bit. Maybe with more work they can get it right, but the results just don't blow me out of the water. But you know, don't take my word for it. Have a look at these samples and hit me up in the comments. What do you think? And this is rear-facing video on the Xiaomi 12T Pro, shooting in 4K 30 FPS, coming to like 5 p.m. here in Hong Kong. Pretty nice day. Good stabilization, it appears. But listen to the mics, hear how they sound, and hit me up in the comments. What do you think? And this is front-facing video on the Xiaomi 12T Pro, shooting in 1080p 30, no 4K as usual here on the Xiaomi phones, but we do have 1080p 60 at least on this release. But listen to the mics, hear how they sound. Looks pretty good to me overall. A lot of editing today, guys, super busy. Hope you enjoy these videos, but hit me up in the comments. What do you think? So that's it for this video and my final verdict on the Xiaomi 12T Pro. You know, it's great to see Xiaomi give some love to the flat panel display phones. And I think one big move is just getting rid of that capacitive sensor, putting all the power that you can get. I would have loved to get the 12 gigs of RAM version myself, but all things considered, the design is probably the one letdown that keeps this from being an ultra flagship. But that's kind of where this product line is positioned, the 12T being more about the power and the performance and the cameras than the actual build quality itself. You're gonna have to step it up to the Ultras or to the Mix Fold 2 to get that kind of build quality. But all things considered, guys, I actually really like this phone. From the design, the display, the performance, 5,000 milliamperes. They did not skimp on that here. Great 5G performance, solid content viewing, gaming performance, and to be honest, I do think that 200 megapixel camera is a bit of a gimmick, but if they can get the software right over time, I think it still offers solid results both day and night that you would be happy with at this price point. So can I recommend this Xiaomi 12T Pro? Absolutely. In some ways, I actually appreciate this phone more than the 12S Ultra. It's almost like the culmination of this form factor for Xiaomi, the flat panel display phone. And if they started evolving this type of design to a more premium look, maybe do something different with the camera modules and give us a flagship all-metal build of this 12T Pro, I think it's gonna be a killer. But for now, definitely a solid release here from Xiaomi, and thanks once again to them for sending this one out. But hit me up in the comments. What are your thoughts on the Xiaomi 12T Pro? And do you agree that this almost represents the culmination of this flat panel Xiaomi design and is a solid phone for you to consider as well? Hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon for future updates. Solid phone, guys. A little bit more the same in software, but I think for the price point, you will be happy with this purchase. So that's it. And this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one. 200 megapixels. I guess the megapixel wars aren't over yet. Oh yeah.